You mentioned this off air, and it got me thinking. Policies that are stringent in terms of where we are now in our economic fair, would it be fair to say that the CBN had thought this through? Because like you said off air, what we are playing is not easy. Tolu was talking about how things are exorbitant, price everything is pricey, all of that, and everything is in dollars. You're buying Maggi, dollar. Woman will tell you our dollar has increased. So should they have been a bit more sensitive to the timing of all of this? Well, would there be a better time to actually do this? Really,
the truth is this: I don't think there's ever a good time. They've done this before. They did it in 2016. They still did it in 2020 during COVID. So it's not the first time that CBN is doing this kind of thing. But I'll just say that, you know, maybe there's a better way to sort of soften it. Maybe you want to regulate them a bit better. Maybe you want to limit how much you're giving to them. You want to put in strict measures. Anybody who doesn't apply, you know, who doesn't adhere to your policy, you're going to shut them down. But like I said, there are a lot of BDCs. There are 5,000 BDCs with several branches. That's 5,000 BDC licenses. One BDC license can have several branches across the nation. So they're just trying, I think for them it's a case of, okay, we're going to hit them hard first, and then gradually we see who is still standing, then we now see how to regulate those guys. This is just me thinking from my own perspective.
Okay, I mean, because we need to move to the next segment, what other things you think the CBN can do to kind of regulate? Because at the end of the day, it's going to backfall on the Nigerian citizens, the average Nigerian who is just trying to make, who is doing his own thing and doesn't know he's affected by all of this policy, you know. So what would be your, you know, let's say your tips or things that the government or CBN can do to just create some kind of level playing field?
I like what you said, that some people don't even know how it affects them.
No, they're just their own thing.
It's when you walk into the supermarket maybe to buy eggs and they say the feed for the chickens are expensive. You might not understand it, but it's the truth, because they say, did you import the chicken? I've heard people say things like that. But you didn't import the chicken, but the food that you're giving the chicks, maybe they're imported, maybe they are not bought here, maybe, you know, all of those things. So I think that it's really from a place of, you know, let's consider the small business owner. The small business owner has played a major role in this economy. The small business, you know, owner is employing at least 80% of Nigeria's employment force right now, contributing at least 48% to the GDP. So we need to sort of take them more seriously. Let's not just categorize everybody as business owners. Let's understand that these guys are SMEs, and how do we sort of provide these kind of, you know, dollars, forex for them that helps them, eases them, because the banks might not give them the, you know, preferential treatment. They might not have that amount of money in their bank account. You know, bank is all about how much you have. The more money you have, the more prestigious you become as a customer. So I feel like the CBN should have come up with ways that the small businessman can still be able to trade and be able to do their business, so it doesn't really affect the economy. Because whatever affects small businesses affects us generally.
It's funny you're saying this, because before you walked in, before the start of the show, we were talking about how it's very difficult. She was trying to get a loan last week, and she almost took my head off, you know, trying to get a loan. But I mean, it's so imperative. The banks are a fulcrum of what we are talking about, and it doesn't seem like they're doing their jobs in terms of helping SMEs, in terms of helping small businesses. Can the CBN come up with policies that can, I don't know, tighten this regulation? Because you see a big man just enter the bank, he gets billions, and you go and you ask for your 500K, 1 million. It takes them here. They'll tell you to go and bring your grandmother's left hand. You know, how can the CBN do that finally? Stringent measures, really.
So I think it's really from, like you said, from the top, them coming up with some specific policies that, you know, would help the small business owner. Some of these banks are coming up with some things now. Hey, you can access this as an SME, you can do this, you can do that. But the laws cannot be the same for everybody, because the manufacturing guy that's trading in billions every year is not the same as the small business owner that is just trying to turn over a couple of millions every month. So it's not the same. The documentation process shouldn't even be the same, if we're all, you know, because they don't even have that much to show. They are just trying to build. I mean, you need the money, right? First of all, you need the loan. You want to buy things. You want to convert that loan to forex, so you can even import some goods and even make some good money and be able to pay your staff. That's why you're trying to make sure that you can even run a business that is profitable enough to even scale, have a second or third branch, be able to pay people, because there are so many people that are unemployed in Nigeria. And most of these people are being employed and paid by the small business owner. But the small business owner, I feel like we don't give them enough credit. These guys are not joking, right? They are building businesses, they are paying their staff, they are running operations, and they are still being human. It's not easy.
It's crazy.
It's not easy to run a business here
and
in the economy that we're in.
In a very
to be in
tight
Nigeria
business
and to own it.
environment.
But just let me ask you this, to just quickly move to the next part. Who wins the war now? Because CBN is always looking for ways. They're not banning something today, they are doing something. Let's not even go to the crazy bank charges. That's a different conversation entirely, you know. So who wins the war now? CBN, the bureau de change, or we.
First of all, we are not winning.
CBN winning the war here now, because in their own mind they think they're doing the right thing, but then they're not looking at the other part of people who are being affected by this, because we have inflation. Everything is crazy right now.
Yeah,
so who wins the war?
We're not the winner. The layman might not necessarily be the winner. The thing is that yes, the CBN is trying its best to make sure that they're taking care of us by saying, hey, we're protecting you from these guys. But then even the BDC, the black market rate is going to rise. And remember that CBN would only give, forex to those that they deem fit in terms of what the government has approved. So there are some people that need forex for other things, for emergency, whatever. Maybe it's not on the list of what the banks can give. Unfortunately, you're going to have to pay that black market rate. So I feel like people would win in different areas. The BDC will not win in the sense that they will not have so much access to so much dollars, but they might have reserves that they will now sell at a markup price, and they will still make. So I feel like people would win. The bank, commercial banks, they are the ones that now have a huge chip on their shoulder. They have dollars. So it's a case of, hey, you want the dollars, you have to do the needful. So I feel like people would win in different ways, but I think that the CBN really needs to regulate this and really hear the cry of the layman who says, hey, I'm trying to get this dollar and nobody's attending to me. Let there be a proper hotline that people can call, or if somebody sends an email, somebody should really respond so that these things are done faster. I don't think just having a teller with FX is the solution. If everybody goes to the bank, we're trying to, there's COVID, so many things. Let's take these things online. Let's introduce technology.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I think that would work.
For breaking it down for the layman who are just really wondering what is the effect of this on the average people, and a lot of people who are relocating, people who have businesses abroad, people are dealing in dollars. Everyone is dealing in dollars these days. So it's just crazy how they'll be able to get access to dollars. I don't know how.
It's so funny how that situation happened. She had to call someone in Canada who sold dollars. So what the person just did was, send me in the naira and go and pay your school fees.
But we need to
all the way,
because the person was still trying to make sure they didn't have to spend as much.
Thank you so much, Nkechi. It was really nice having you aboard. It'd be good to have you again for another topic like this on a Monday. So we'll take another break and we're going to the next part of the show. The conversation is around spousal support. Should women pay spousal support in Nigeria? That's the conversation that we need to have. So we'll take a break and we'll be right back.